Okay, we're talking about Splassive, the Splash token. This is one of these tokens. It's a fork of Drip, a phenomenal project, and it pays out a daily reward, 2% of your deposit. You lock in your token, you buy the token, you lock it in. You can never get the original tokens back, but you can get 2% of them back each day, up to a total of 360% of your investment, plus or minus any changes in the price. If Drip is anything to go by, if this does half as well as Drip, you could make a hell of a lot of money. If you see here, we're only going back to July on this chart. Drip was actually launched, I think, in April. Price here, the first price here is showing $22. It actually launched at about $2, which is when I bought in. It hit $164 recently. It's been on a bit of a dip here. It's not for the first time. It's been multiple dips. At one point it was down to about $5. It's currently $55. But the point here is not the price, because you actually end up with more of the token than you started with. So it would be equivalent to if you'd invested in April and compounded the 1% daily earnings. If you add up 10 months of profits, well, 11 months nearly, so 330 days times 1%, that's more than 330%. The power of compounding means, I don't know, 500%. So it's the equivalent of this being more like $250 from an initial $2 buy-in. A lot of people have made a lot of money. You can see here, this is currently paying out, this is less than a day's earnings, about $1,600 a day from an initial investment of about $4,000. So Drip paid out 1% and still is paying out 1% a day. It always will. The Splassive is a fork of Drip, and the main difference, pretty much the only difference, is that it pays 2% a day instead of 1% a day. So it says that the maximum you can earn is 360, but anytime that you reinvest rather than just cashing out that interest, you're multiplying that number. So it's a very, very cool little experiment, little project. I think the developer of Drip, Forex Shark, he was the inventor. He's obviously a top developer. The guy behind Splassive, I don't think is such an innovative developer. It's really just a copy. So it's in one way you could say that this is more of a gamble, but actually if you were an initial investor in Drip, it was completely improving at that time. So that was a massive gamble in itself, and certainly one that's paid off. Some of the original investors have pulled out literally millions from Drip with only a very small investment of maybe $10,000-$20,000, and pulled out literally millions. They've maxed out the contract, and because the maximum you can pull out is 100K. I'm only on 10% of that at the moment, so there's lots more that can be pulled out of that product. So I'm going to tell you how to get into it. You may not have even used the Avalanche network, which is where Splassive lives. So I'm going to tell you how to get there from another blockchain and how to invest. So the first thing we need to do is, let's assume you're on the Binance Smart Chain, but this would be a similar process if you were on Ethereum. So instead of going to BSC scan, the Binance Smart Chain scanner, you would go to the ETH scanner, etherscan.io, and you would buy the wrapped Avalanche token there. But we're going to do this from Binance, and it's pretty much the same process. So we'll search for the wrapped Binance version of the Avalanche token. We'll copy the contract address. We'll go to an exchange. You can see here I've already got Avalanche, but if this didn't exist in whatever exchange you're using, PancakeSwap, I tend to use 1inch, you just paste the address in there and you would add it, but as you can see, it's already available here. So I'm going to swap some of my BNB for Avalanche. So we're going to come into 1 inch here. If Avalanche doesn't exist already, you would paste in the contract address that we just copied and it would recognize it, but you can see here I've already got Avalanche. We're going to swap some of my tokens, not all of them. As soon as we have some AVAX token on Binance, we're then going to come over to a bridge. So you can see here, I now have some AVAX. We're going to come over to the multi-chain bridge at app.multichain.org. We're going to swap, we're going to bridge from the BNBChain, and we're going to do this with the Avalanche token. And we're going to go over to, these are all the different blockchains you can bridge to from Binance, from the BNBChain. We're going to bridge to the Avalanche token on the Avalanche network. As you can see here, I don't have quite the minimum amount. You need to send at least 0.16, so we're going to have to do a bit more of a swap. We'll wait until this balance increases to the minimum. Here we go. So now we have enough. It's no longer red. We need to approve, give permission to multi-chain to use the Avalanche token in my wallet. Wait for that to approve, and then we'll be able to bridge. Approved. So now we can continue to swap as soon as this button appears. There we go. So now we'll pull over. They're going to take a little bit of my AVAX as a fee. This does take some time, it's quite complex. Locking up the tokens on one blockchain, minting them on another, and getting the confirmation that it's all happened, that can take a little while, especially if you're doing this with Ethereum, which is slow as hell at the moment. Binance on the BNBChain, it's quite a lot faster and of course a lot cheaper at the moment. You can see here that the transaction has begun on the Binance chain. We can check out the transaction there, but we haven't yet confirmed that it's arrived, that the AVAX token has arrived in my wallet in the Avalanche blockchain. We can actually head over to the Avalanche blockchain and check ourselves. That can happen a little bit quicker. But first you need to actually add the Avalanche chain to your wallet. So come to chainlist.org. This is actually being discontinued soon. I think hopefully someone might take it over. But whichever blockchain you want to add to your wallet, to your Metamask, you can search in here. So for example, if you wanted to add Polygon, you search for Polygon, but we're adding, of course, Avalanche. Connect the wallet, add the chain, and it automatically adds the RPC settings. You can switch to that chain. Now, if we look, I do have some Avalanche token in my wallet. So now that we've done that, and we can head over to Splassive chain, connect the wallet. We need to buy some of the token. Now we can see here we're recutting it fine. You can see that you need a minimum of 1 splash to enter the game, the contract. And if we were to use all of the AVAX in the wallet, we're only getting 1.08. There's actually a 10% transaction fee on splash buys and sells. So we might actually end up with less than 1. And of course you can't use all of your balance because you need some AVAX in your wallet to pay for transactions. So I need to do the bridge again. I need to send a little bit more money over. We can see how much is in the contract already. This only launched yesterday and we have $796,000 in the contract. That will increase over time. So now we have some more AVAX. Let's make sure we get at least 1.1. Yeah, so that should do it. Buy the splash. And this is where you would sell if you want to cash out. This chart is nonsense. It's just a placeholder. Obviously don't have enough history yet to put a real chart up. Once you have purchased, you can come into the tap. This is the contract itself. As you can see now I have my splash balance. I need to approve. Here it is, some of these digits. Approve the deposit. We'll see I don't have a starter address. We'll see what that is in a moment. Just show you what happens if you try to enter the contract without one. You have nobody. So you need to add the wallet address of someone that gets you into the project. They'll get a little commission and often share those commissions. They can airdrop you back some of your commission, depending on how they're feeling, what they've agreed with you. So you need to find a buddy address. So if you don't have a buddy, a wave starter, you can support the team, the development team, by clicking that button. It will insert their wallet address. You can click update. I would recommend joining a team where you can get referrals. I'll put a link to one of those in the description, because your buddy can airdrop money to you. Your referrals will appear in their wallet and they can send money back to you, which reduces the impact of the 10% referral fee and some of the other commissions that come out of the way that the contract works, that keeps it more sustainable. So you can see the wave starter is now there, so we can try to deposit again. I don't know why it says I don't have that much. I do. Just reduce the number a little bit and it will go through. And then these figures will update as soon as that money is in the contract. So you can see here I now have 1.368 splash in the tap, and this number here will now tick up every few minutes. You'll see, well, constantly, you'll see your available money ticking up. I only have a small amount here, so it'll take a while before I've got a fraction of a dollar. But whenever you want, you can then reinvest, and the power of compounding means that if you do that more often than not, then your deposit amount, and the maximum you can claim will increase faster. So you can see that even though I only put 1.368 splash into the contract, I can collect every day for 180 days. I can collect 2% of that amount, up to a maximum of 4.925. So even if the value of the splash was to stay currently just $12, you would have earned more than three and a half times after that 180 days. You would have earned 3.5 times what you put in. The expectation is this is a new project, that the price, there will be times when the price is a lot higher than $12, particularly as due to the nature of the contract, because most of the coins are locked up. You don't get the kind of sell pressure that you typically get on a non-useful token that doesn't have this kind of smart contract in. People can't suddenly panic sell. Most of the token supply is locked permanently into this platform, and people can only withdraw 2% a day. So that helps to keep the price going up in the way that we've seen with drip. So even though for the first few months, you can see here, the contract was in decline, some people gave up on it. Key was to keep compounding. So in this time, collecting and reinvesting 1% a day from April, May, June, July, August, September, October, that's 6 months, that's 180 days. You would have made, I don't know, roughly 250, 300% in terms of the amount of drips, and you would have been slightly underwater. Some people would have just panicked and given up. The people that were compounded in this time, you can see that after all of the kind of panic sellers, everyone was cashing out. The buy pressure crept up and then rocketed up here. And again, in January, when the rest of the market was crashing, we were reaching kind of crazy amounts. People were pulling out tens of thousands a day, and some people even hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. So we're coming down here. I kind of think we might go a little bit lower, and then there's a chance that we could rocket even higher. People are talking about it going to thousands. That remains to be seen, but certainly if you were in from April, you would have made a ton of money from drip already. So the hope is, big difference with this is, of course, that the token, the contract with Splash, is paying 2% a day. You might expect that it would be a shorter lifespan for this contract, but you never know. Anything's possible in DeFi. So there are a few other bits you've got. If you prefer to do typical liquidity farming, yield farming, you can pair AVAX with drip and put them into this. This is more of a farming contract, but the core of how these work, Splash and drip, is the faucet and drip and the tap in Splassive. That's the key. So if you want to get involved, check out the notes in the description, and I'll put some links and a buddy address in there for you. Good luck. Be careful. This is not financial advice, of course. This is dangerous. It's highly risky, but it's certainly the risk has probably been reduced by how well proven the drip contract is. And this is a direct fork with a minor tweak to the contract to get 2% instead of 1%. Happy splashing.